All right, let's jump right in. We're going to be looking at a wild story from the historian Flavius Josephus, focusing on one single defining moment in the rise of Herod the Great. It's an incredible tale of ambition, backstabbing, and a really brutally calculated act of revenge that completely changed the game in ancient Judea. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll set the scene and look at the political chaos of the time. Then we'll get into a pretty shocking betrayal, followed by the cold, hard revenge plot. We'll see how it all goes down, and then finally, we'll talk about what it all meant for Herod's rise to power. Okay, so first up, we need to understand the world this is all happening in. It's right after Julius Caesar was assassinated, and Rome is an absolute mess. The Republic is in the middle of a brutal civil war, and that chaos is spilling over everywhere, especially into provinces like Judea. And things just explode almost immediately. One of Caesar's assassins, a guy named Cassius, shows up in the region, and he is desperate for two things: soldiers and money. And he demands that Judea cough up 700 talents of silver. Now, you have to understand, that is an insane amount of money. It's not just a tax, it's a threat, and it puts everybody on edge. It's the perfect environment for a guy with ambition to make a move. So, to really get what happens next, you've got to meet the cast of characters. First, you've got Hyrcanus, the high priest. He's technically the ruler, but he's kind of weak, easily pushed around. The real power behind the throne is his advisor, Antipater. And Antipater has a son, a young, ambitious guy named Herod. And then there's our villain, Malichus. He's Antipater's rival, and he sees all this chaos as his big chance to grab power for himself. So with all that pressure from Rome hanging over everything, a much more personal and deadly drama starts to unfold. And believe it or not, it all starts with an act of mercy that turns out to be a huge mistake. So get this. Malichus is dragging his feet on collecting his portion of that giant Roman tribute. Cassius, not a patient man, is basically ready to have him killed. End of story. But Antipater, his rival, actually steps in. He calms Cassius down, even pays some of the money himself, and saves Malichus's life. Malichus literally owes his life to the guy he's been trying to undermine. You'd think he'd be grateful, right? Nope, not even a little. Malichus looks at the man who just saved his neck and only sees one thing: an obstacle. Antipater is the only thing standing between him and total control, so he decides he's got to go. And the way he does it is just so cowardly. He bribes one of the high priest's own servants to slip poison into Antipater's drink during a dinner party in front of everybody. Just like that, the most powerful man in the country is dead, and Malichus thinks, great, my path is clear. But Malichus made one giant miscalculation. He didn't just kill a rival. He killed Herod's father. And Herod wasn't just sad. He was ready for a very cold, very calculated revenge. I mean, can you blame him? Herod's first reaction is just pure rage. He gets an army together and is ready to march right then and there. But his brother Phasaelus grabs him and is like, whoa, hold on. If you do this now, you'll start a civil war. We have to be smart. We have to be cunning. And this is pure Herod. This is where you see the political genius. To Malichus's face, he pretends everything is fine, accepts his phony apologies. But behind the scenes, he writes to the Roman general Cassius and tells him everything. And Cassius, who hated Malichus anyway, basically says, you want to take him out? Please be my guest. In fact, I'll even give you some Roman soldiers to help you do it. The trap is set. Herod picks his moment perfectly. He chooses the city of Tyre, right when a bunch of Roman commanders and local bigwigs are in town. It's the perfect public event to cover for a very private assassination. And Josephus just has this brilliant line here. He says that fate basically laughed at Malichus's plans. See, Malichus was cooking up his own schemes to revolt against Rome. He thought he was playing chess, but he had no idea Herod was about to flip the whole board over. And boom, here's how it goes down. Herod invites everyone to dinner. Then he sends a servant out, supposedly to get things ready. But it's a code. The servant gives the signal to those Roman tribunes Cassius sent. They draw their swords, find Malichus hanging out on the beach just outside the city, and they cut him down. And can you just picture the scene? The high priest, Hyrcanus, the supposed leader of the whole country, sees this public execution happen right in front of him, and he just faints, passes out cold from the sheer shock and terror of it all. When he finally comes to, he asks, who did this? A Roman soldier steps up and says, Cassius's orders. And Hyrcanus's response is priceless. He says, Oh, wonderful. Cassius has saved me and my country. And you have to wonder, right? Was he actually relieved? Or was he just terrified, saying exactly what he knew Herod and his Roman friends wanted to hear?
Because that's the real point here. This wasn't just about settling a family score. This was a political earthquake. This was a hostile takeover, plain and simple.
I mean, just look at the before and after. Before this, Herod's family was on the ropes. Their power was threatened. After, his number one rival is dead. The high priest is too scared to even look at him sideways. And Rome is sitting back thinking, you know what? This Herod guy, he gets things done. It all came down to this one brutal move. With one assassination, Herod didn't just avenge his father. He sent a message to everyone. He was smart, he was ruthless, he had Roman backing, and he was now the undisputed boss. He was a man you did not cross. And that really leaves us with a big question about Herod, doesn't it? Was this a righteous son getting justice for his murdered father? Or was this the first truly chilling glimpse of the tyrant he was about to become? A man who would stop at nothing and kill anyone to get and keep his throne. This one act contains the seeds of everything that followed. And the answer, well, it's complicated.